welcome Anju ji, welcome Dolly ji. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening. We are here to launch the book. This is for the benefit of the audience. And we're here to learn more about the book Mumbai Traps from our author Anju ji and from Dolly ji. We also have a whole lineup of actors and theatre personalities who will be reading from the book, and we'll get to know a lot over the course of this evening about the different plays that are in this book. And just to give you a little introduction of Anju ji. So Anju ji is a Sahitya Academy Award winning poet, playwright and translator. She's the author of several books like Seeking the Beloved, the co-translation of 16th century Sufi poet Shah Abdul Latif, The Pickling Season, View from the Web, and Poems Grow With You. She's also co-edited a 3-volume series of Indo-English drama and anthologies related to partition, women and young readers. Anju ji's plays have been staged in India and abroad, and the awards that she has won include the BBC World Poetry Prize, the Sahitya Academy English Translation Prize, and she was on the English Advisory Board of the Sahitya Academy for 5 years, and is the co-founder of the Pondicherry Oroville Poetry Festival. And today she's here along with us on this amazing event where we're going to launch the book Mumbai Traps, which is a collection of plays, and well, as you guess it, it is on the city of Mumbai, and it's going to be a collection of 6 intriguing plays, and it includes, and we get to know about all the plays later in the evening as well. And each one of them I shall introduce you before the actors come on stage and read out from the play. But thank you, Dolly ji. Most importantly, we are so honored to have Dolly ji here with us. And Dolly ji is a veteran actor, newscaster, columnist, and casting director who's worked in advertising, communication, and public relations. She's a staunch social activist, and particularly for the cause of men and for citizens for peace. Her recent book, Regrets None, has recently been launched, much to the admiration of reviewers and readers. So thank you, Dolly ji, for being here. Thank you for launching the book. And it'd be really awesome if you could tell us a little bit about your impressions about the book. And yes.
Can I just say that I'd certainly heard of Anju Makhija, but I didn't know that she was a poet. And I mean, I knew her as a playwright. And the reason I went to see her plays was because a lot of the people that I've acted with and I've worked with, like DENZIL SMITH, like Kitu Girwani, and Joy Sengupta, they're all people that I know. So I went to see her plays because of that. I remember seeing If Wishes Were Horses, and then I don't remember the others that I've now read and got to know a lot about. But it really is Mumbai Traps, because it traps you in it, and it's all about the city that we love and all the things that she writes about. So over to you, and I'm glad I'm privileged to be launching her book. Okay, and I'm going to unwrap it now. Yeah, I launched the book. Okay, Anju, it's even more difficult than the plays you write. Just launch of the book.
Oh, we lost our host. That's scary. So,
can I go ahead?
Yeah, Anju ji, go ahead.
I said just sack Instagram. What is
I don't know what happened.
I agree.
So I guess
Hello, everybody.
Must be asking you to start. So go ahead.
I'm there. Yeah. So first of all, good evening. Hello. And I just want to say one thing, that I know Instagram is difficult for a lot of people, and in the second part it'll get smoother because a lot of young people are coming in to read, and I know for the future it'll have to be on Zoom. I apologize for one, to Uma, Kanika, who had struggled to get in, and as Dolly said, we have to just throw away Instagram. Anyway, thank you all for coming, all the audience and everybody. And what can I say except that I'll just hold up the book again. This is about 325 pages. So it's quite a big, thick volume. And of course, I'd be very happy if all of you all get a chance to read it sometime. For those who can't buy it, you can just write to me and I can send you the PDF. Of course, I shouldn't be saying this. The publisher is Dolly Books, and I'm sure they would rather you buy the book.
Absolutely not.
But I...
You need to have the book in your hand because it's a very erudite book. Anju has given a lot of, made a lot of references to mythology, to literature, etc. And it's not a read that you can put down. You need to know the background of it all. And that is why I loved reading all her plays. They taught me a lot, Anju.
Thank you. And to have Dolly to read them, it's not easy reading plays. It's much easier to watch plays. And what can I say about Dolly except that we've all seen her, experienced her in a way. We've respected her. We've shared her, in a way, her life through her book called Regrets None, which is out now. And I'm reading a little every day of that life, which has been challenging, honest. And I hope some of these characters will be the same. Challenging, honest, intriguing. I certainly have not stayed with reality. I do think our reality is absurd. The reality of Mumbai is totally absurd. Yet we accept it, we live it, and we even thrive on it. What I have tried to do is go beyond reality, of course, because that is, I think, theatre to me. It has to even be bigger than reality, smaller, but it has to move away a bit. And I've also tried a lot of experimentation in this book. There is a play in verse, being a poet, that was expected, I think, of me. And there is a play, Meeting with Lord Yama, which is written fully in verse. There is a musical. I remember that I've always loved music and musicals, so I experimented with that form. And I
really like it.
Preeti?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Anjuji's network must have gone off.
Frozen. Okay. So, shall we move on to the next next part?
No,
where I
let her finish. She's back. She's back.
Is back? Okay. Anjuji,
Okay,
are we
it seems to
do we have you back?
our reality is totally absurd right now. Right now, reality is absurd. But we have to accept it. I certainly am not thriving on it today, but I'm accepting it. And that is the challenge of everything, I guess. The other point, quickly, I'd like to say is that the title itself is Mumbai Traps. And as Dolly said, all the plays are set in Mumbai. I had no big plan. I've lived in several cities of the world. I had no big scheme that they should be set in Mumbai. When I put it together during the pandemic, I realized each and every play is set in Mumbai. So what do I call it? Mumbai Traps, of course. And the last point is, I guess I just want to say, I have to thank the publisher, Dolly Books. And I want to say that the volume includes 6 plays written in the past 2.5 decades. And I think in this, I want to say that Mumbai is the main character. Often we say, who's the character in the play? Who's the main character? In this whole book, Mumbai is the main character for me. And it is cast in manifold shades. Sometimes as a reflection of the city's obsessions. Other times as a confidant to its secrets. That's important, confidant to its secrets. In these pages, we experience social and surreal situations, mysterious and mystical happenings with an artistic playfulness. The stories serve as a depiction of a city life in a state of perpetual restlessness. And I think that restlessness has already started. It'll grow as the evening goes, and we'll see the actors in the plays soon. Preeti,
yes.
Talk to you.
Yes. So thank you, Anju, for totally setting the stage for more curiosity, and I'm sure the audience can't wait to hear excerpts from our play and opinions about the plays as well. Shall I invite Umaji onto stage now?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So thank you, Dolly, and thank you, Anju. Shall we... if Anju, shall we get back to you after the readings so that we can have a Q&A session? This is for the audience as well. So if you have any questions, hold your fire. We will get Anju back, and we shall then ask her all the questions you have about all the stories. And I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. So Anju,
thank you.
We'll get you back.
Thank you.
All right. And we shall now would like to invite Uma Narain, and she is going to introduce a bit more about the book. She has written the preface to the book, and Uma Narain has been a Fulbright Fellow at New York University, and where she worked on Vietnam War plays. Her second Fulbright stint was with the Experimental Theater of Megan Terry at Nebraska. She's been a professor of literature and drama, professor of general management at the S.P. Jain Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai, where she employed literature and theatre arts for managerial skill development for MBA students. She's a former dean, School of Liberal Arts at NMIMS University, Mumbai, a school she founded in 2016. Welcome, Umaji, welcome. It is a pleasure, it's an honor. I just have such stalwarts on screen right now that I feel like I should not waste any time talking myself. So, Umaji, if you could read the preface or just talk about the book, it would be wonderful.
So, thank you, Preeti, for that introduction. Very kind of you. I want to extend a very hearty congratulations to Anju on the publication of this collected works. So my congratulations to Anju on this momentum, and my gratitude to Dolly Books for taking the initiative and printing it in such a wonderful volume and the beautiful color with all the shades that one loves. So congratulations to the playwright, the publisher, and of course the wonderful friends and theatre people who have connected here today. So when Anju asked me to write the preface for her collected works, I immediately agreed. It's always an honor when an author asks you to review the plays critically and talk about it. So these 6 collected plays become a momentous occasion because it's a documentation in one place. And when the work of over 2 decades is documented, then you see it for, is there a distinct voice that the playwright is going to talk about? Or is it multi voices? Or, I mean, do you see it as a body of work, a coherent body of work? And that is why I did 2 things. One is to look at that distinct voice in theatre by Anju, which means that I looked at her plays as literature and theatre both. Drama is literature and theatre both, not at the expense of each other, but because of each other.
Yeah.
So, whereas I am not aware of Anju's familiarity with theatre arts, but when I looked at her plays, I found them wonderful moments. And why that happens, we'll talk about it. Another role of a literary work in a drama is what are the issues that you are talking about? What are the themes? So we look at themes, we look at style, and we look at all the devices that make it happen.
True.
Theatre is a collaborative art comprising of several art forms, each answering to a grammar.
True. Yeah.
So, yes, of course, there are plays, spontaneous plays, born writers, but then when you assess their work, when a collected volume is published, it necessitates that overview. So that I'm going to do that in the given time possible. And the second aspect that I thought of talking about today is her place in the history of English writing in contemporary theatre. So look at Anju's work as a distinct voice in theatre by looking at the literariness and the theatricality which appeals to the audience and the outreach, because English theatre audience was limited and Anju has broken that barrier. About it in a little while. And the second aspect that I'm going to talk about is her positioning in her contribution and how this volume will become a milestone when history of contemporary writing in English for theatre is being documented. So when I look at her plays, one thing, as has been repeatedly said, is that Mumbai is a character. There have been poems written on Mumbai, there have been essays written on Mumbai, there have been short stories dedicated to a city in literature over the years. So Mayor of the Castor Bridge by Thomas Hardy or Malgudi of R.K. Narain. Mumbai is Anju's Malgudi. Was it a conscious choice? I don't think so. I don't think so. She set out to write about Mumbai. So according to my review, how it happens is that drama works through a clash, contradictions, binaries. And what better town than Mumbai? Rags to riches stories, somebody sleeping on the pavement in the initial days only to end up in a penthouse, or from a penthouse resident, a CEO that we all know in Mumbai, a famous CEO living in a rented house because the son threw him out, So rags to riches and riches to rags. What a moment of drama. People from all over the country, the world, come and inhabit and make Mumbai. So there is something very, very enticing. Yeah. All ambitions, all dreams come true. So I look at Mumbai and I think if Mumbai is a recorder of times, it's a omnipresent, omniscient trope.
True. True.
And it's a Behrupia. It has several colors. It is a Behrupia seeking different forms and stories. It's my bhelpuri with a tangy sauce, smeared in a tangy sauce. It's a cauldron boiling all the time. It's a conundrum. It's capacious, inclusive, invincible, vulnerable, eclectic, and maddening. So it is very, very obvious when a playwright unconsciously sets out to situate the locale of the play that Mumbai attracted the characters, the multiple voices, the dilemma, the personal predicaments, the collective dilemma. So Mumbai becomes very much the context and the subject. In all the 6 plays, I would not comment about other works because I'm sure as Anju evolves as a writer, she may go to other locations. But one thing as a distinct voice is that she would be the first playwright where the stimulation and the constant excitement of Mumbai and its people are captured in all her plays.
Yes.
I also comment on, so it's not Anju, it is the city also which draws Anju, and I'll explain how. So Luigi Pirandello wrote that 6 characters in search of an author. So the characters, the desperation to be expressed, it's the Mumbai that is seeking a playwright to tell their stories. A playwright who is intimate, non-judgmental, who doesn't want to correct people, but show a mirror to their lives in a manner that everybody gets it much better than the reality. And if it improves their lot, so be it. So it is not just Mumbai suddenly chosen as a location, it's that drama present in everyday moment in Mumbai that is any playwright's delight, not necessarily a poet's, because a poet doesn't work on this clash with binaries, but the dramatist works. And the second is, of course, that a Mumbai is desperately looking for somebody to voice these multiple things. The second aspect that you look at the plays is there a social voice? I realize that without being a Bernard Shaw and picking up a social problem and trying to give a solution at the end, there is no attempt. She represents people on the sidewalk as they are. They have a social purpose without the need to be pontificating. And that's the beauty, and that's the later on when I speak about how she has brought English theatre to a wider audiences, this is one of the reasons. Yes. That there is no elder brother or boss, pointing out you did it and you deserve it. It's a intimate, like Charles Lamb, an intimate ear of a confidant who understands and represents the scenario. And when it is reflected back to the audience, and if they see some sense and a pattern and learn from it, so be it. So all her plays have that thesis and antithesis. The synthesis is done by the audience. There is no attempt by the playwright to do that. And that's what I found very, very lovable about Anju's writing. I'll quickly talk about the 6 plays to, set the context. First play that attracted me and I became friends with Anju was If Wishes Were Horses. I was new to Bombay. I had no clue about space. That people talk of, I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or 1 BHK or 3. You know how this is a statement. Living in the north, everybody lived in bungalows. No, this is not an issue. When I watched that play, space as a metaphor, physical and metaphorical, as a constraint of the island city. The land doesn't grow. You can't expand into Ghaziabad, into national capital region, So the constraint, and therefore the real estate as the business of Bombay. So I looked at that, a class differentiation, a rich woman leaving her 3-bedroom flat. So I didn't understand the beauty of what she was saying till I lived in Mumbai and I understood what she means. So space, one concern of Mumbai, which I saw in Wishes Were Horses, and class discrimination, and how ambition is egalitarian. A beggar can have, that's why if wishes were horses, everybody will get a flat. So, so I was fascinated by this space concept, and I'll talk a little bit about the theatre arts later when I come to the... Then the second play fascinated me. Imagine the local train is the lifeline of Mumbai. It stops for a day, Mumbai life comes to a standstill. Locating a play in a stranded apartment on the Vashi Bridge. Capturing characters, a very eclectic mix of characters that represents the macrocosm of Mumbai society. Trapping them, how we can't live without the local train. It defines Mumbai. It is the backbone. It carries the social burden of Mumbai. Trap them and then create a public address system, which could be the government, which could be the fourth state, which could be the underworld. And when she describes this public address system, it is cacophonous. It doesn't comfort anybody. So it's the politicians, the violence, the vulnerability of a town. So I loved the situation of picking up the trope of a local train, it's a life lived at the precipice. They are suspended in that train compartment for I don't know how many hours. And a politician is murdered, bomb blast. It reminds me of bomb blasts that later happened in Mumbai. So that's typically a Mumbai situation. Then there is a politician who's murdered, his head goes missing, and then she knits Ganpati, who is a god of changed heads. It's a beautiful fabric, tapestry, not a fabric, but tapestry of several designs that coalesce into Bombay. And what better than talking about the violence, the bomb blasts, the people who live on the precipice and how vulnerable the people are. And in spite of that, people come to Bombay and love it. So I loved that social concern. It could be a political satire. Anju said it's a political satire, but I think it's about people much more than about the government. The existential question of, you have heard grown-up stories of Satyavan and Savitri, whose husband was taken by Yama, and she pleads with him to get her husband back. Here, Anju subverts this story. Where is Savitri these days? Do you find such women? No Savitris. Here is a character who is arguing with Yama to send her back, that she took her wrongly. And how she, it's the consumer. I noticed another fact in Mumbai, how we argue as a consumer's right. Return this product. The color runs. It doesn't work. So as an activist and a consumer, she's arguing with Yama. Your records must be wrong. Your accounts must be wrong. Your Chitragupta must be wrong. Send me back. And then Anju poses the question, what if she were to go back and live an extended life? Would she make different choices? And that is why underneath this hilarious, funny bone writing is an existential question, which is, like T.S. Eliot will say, I drop a profound argument casually into a plate. It is not with any abstraction or heaviness. Most of Indian writers, whether it is Girish Karnad, the texturing, the layering, the literariness made it only a very elite audience specific place. But here is Anju casually tossing these interesting comments, and I would love to illustrate my point by just reading 2 lines. In If Wishes for Horses, the priest says, every time you throw the ball up, it falls down. If you intervene and catch it, you are responsible and must do something with the ball. So if life of Mumbai throws you these challenges, what do you do? What is unusual is not that this happens in Mumbai. What is desirable is the response of a Mumbaikar to every vulnerability and unexpectedness that happens. And that, to my mind, was such a profound thought. And that is why I thought that Anju's every play has a social purpose without being didactic. In Cold Gold, there are 2 bored women, lonely in spite of living in a crowded city like Bombay. And then they think that if rags to riches stories happen in Mumbai, there must be a social bypass. You can't do it by hard work, because hard work is too difficult. So they seek a social bypass by colluding and stealing. And then the hilarious distribution of the booty. And who wins? There's a maidservant, the mother-in-law, and this journalist, South Bombay. Anju makes it a point to say that you keep pretenses. You have to keep pretenses being a South Mumbaiite, and how you have to look richer than how you are. And it's a hilarious play. Cold gold. Gold is cold. There's no warmth. And so I love this social bypass. And also, she doesn't show that they succeed.
Yeah.
She doesn't show that. So
Yeah.
there is a ethical compass, but it is latent.
Yeah.
And then the best play that I found was Off the Hook. Anju and I attended a workshop right when I had moved to Bombay by Arya Myrene Farnes, and as an exercise, she had asked us to write a scene. And I remember this is what Anju had written. It looked so abstract, but Maria Irene Farnes, of all the 8 participants, and I thought I had done a very complicated, complex, textured scene as a literary person, she rubbished mine and she said, Anju's play. And I thought it is wild, it's so fragmented, only to find it appear. This was 97 or 98. It appears Off the Hook. And during the pandemic, when I was reading it again, here is a fish that is transformed into a human being and lands in Mumbai. So to me, it is the story of an immigrant. Yeah. How the forces of marketing, commerce, how the hype, a new child in Indian Idol or any new actress becoming how there is a marketing hype, and poor girl has come from a small town. She can't cope up with the expectations of this sudden celebrity dump. And this man who's a fish is suddenly picked up by the marketing lingo and the commerce, and he opens a restaurant where fish are served, and you forget the regionalness, the rawness of the person. And after some years, that fishy smell comes and he looks at his personal dilemma and of an immigrant. Should you be like those that, like the people in the town? Should you retain your regionalness, your rawness? And what sells? Commerce is a very different thing. So I love that play. It is yet to see a production, because of course it's very difficult to stage it, and I'll talk about the vagaries of producing a play. And of course the 6th play is commissioned, so I will not comment much on it, because Anurag Kashyap had already done When God Said Cheers, where the God in man talks about the man in God, and they connect and talk about what is this godliness. So, it's interesting. Now, why are Anju's plays so easy for the audience, and why has she extended the outreach of English theatre to a larger group? Is her use of comedy. Even when the situation is sordid, Anju is a writer of the funny bone, and comedy is an essential part of everybody's understanding. But it's very difficult. You can talk about a trivial and turn it to a profound.
True.
And you can come back to the trivial. So the comic element that moves from being a simple joke to a profound statement, and the vice versa, is beautifully done. And that is what makes her character so approachable, so relatable, and it provides a larger audience. And the second part is the language. She told me that she was labeled as the first bilingual writer. I mean, the characters mouthing English language in perfect Queen's English is so alien. Her characters and those actors were overshadowing the English theatre actors. In Wishes for Horses, the Marathi, the local Gujarati, those lingo, it brought such relatability, such lies, and such accessibility to her play. So I love that. And she's a poet. So even if she's not writing a verse play, there is a cadence, there is a lyricism in her dialogues. A playwright is successful if you create good characters, if you have the ability to enter into a dialogue, something which the country needs desperately. The democratic ability to make people speak as they think. And that, to my mind, is the strongest theatre tool that Anju uses wonderfully. And of course, the use of verse, poetry in theatre. Are you conscious, when we read Shakespeare in college, in school, then we used to say, where do we put the comma? Where do we put a full stop? Free verse. How do you stop at 1.5 lines, So Anju's use of theatre, the audience is not even conscious that we are listening to poetry. It is not abstract. Yeah. It is, the word that I have used in the preface is, it's like words dropping on your head like water drops from a shower. And you suddenly shake your head and, oh, what hit you? So that ability of writing verse and then pure theatre tools, in wishing, if wishes were horses, the protagonist is dead. She's never shown. You see an empty frame. She's dead. And it's like the Godot, missing Godot in Beckett. So the person who's absent is more present. These are theatre devices. She uses these theatre devices and tools. The net in Off the Hook, there is a net in the background and the sky, and probably that's why Dolly publishers or her editors thought Trap is the right title for the plays. They abound. The verbal repartees, the hilarious situations. She may not have been an artistic director in a theatre. She may not have been aware of the tools, but her spontaneous use of what is effervescent, what sparkles, that is inborn. I don't think it is thought through. And then one charge that any woman, first thing that is she a feminist? Is she writing about women's issues? No, art is not gender specific. Genius is not gender specific. It is true that Anju has described powerful women protagonists. They are such smart women. Having created the characters like Pirandello, the playwright cannot do anything, can't advise them, can't do anything. They have their own and they say, stay away. They don't need her. And she allows those characters to mess up or take a leap of faith or be entrepreneurial or goof up or do whatever. Her characters are not high bicharis. They are go-getters, such chalu women and such smart women. So you can't call her a woman. I mean, it will be doing disservice to put her in the canon of classification. Literary people tend to do that. Is she a feminist writer? Is she what? Her characters are all strong women. Oh, except for Tochi in Off the Hooks, women predominate. I would never ever, she's not espousing their cause. She's just presenting them, they do their own bit. Once being born on the stage, each character, like a Mumbaikar, is on one's own. Do what you like. So, but I would also talk about the second aspect of being a woman playwright. When I was at New York University in the 90s, one discussion on NYU campus used to be, women playwrights are not staged because you need a professional association, a social network of artistic director, actors. That was not available. You could be a woman and write a poem all by yourself and wait to discover you. But theatre is immediacy. Yeah. If it is produced, then it reaches the audience. For that immediacy, because of that immediacy, it's more potent. If you have to send out a message, write a play. Don't wait to write a poetry or a short story. But at the same time, You need the challenge of this social network. It exists in Bollywood. If X produces a film, Y will figure or Z will give. That social network and the cost. I mean, if I only remember the cost of hiring NCPA, so off-Broadway and off-Broadway is where most of the experimental work happened. One phrase that I would like to repeat for Anju's play as a woman playwright, in New York, they used to say, a woman playwright writing in theater is a woman clapping with one hand. You need a second. So today, I join both hands and clap for Anju. The last point that I would wind up in half a minute now. When you look at her contribution as a playwright in the history of English writing for theater, she's special because she's used comedy, dramatic situations. Her portrayal of characters is very genuine. She's a intimate confidant, things that you will tell to your pillow. Anju hears it. And she doesn't pass a judgment. She captures the dilemma, public dilemma and personal dilemma of people, and the comedy, the hilarity, her skill with dialogues and the effortlessness. Like when you read Girish Karnad, I mean, I am an admirer. He's a milestone. But there is such a dexterous working at the fabric, Hayavadan or, weaving myths. Hers is so unpretentious. It is seemingly effortless, spontaneous, and yet the sparkle happens. This is a hallmark of great writing. Of contemporary drama in English is written. This volume will ensure its place for Anju. I close now. I could talk in detail about several things, but let me stop here. I congratulate Anju on the publication of her collected works, The Mumbai Trap, and I wish several reprints of this volume with addition of more plays where she is allowed not to be trapped by Mumbai but expand, So heartiest congratulations and thank you for patiently listening to a professor. Class over. Class over.
Thank you, Mari. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it was such a pleasure listening to you and about the book. And I'm sure the audience is like, okay, we just need to read these plays immediately. And Dolly ji,
you want me to disconnect now and disappear?
If you give me 2 seconds, I can see you off the stage properly.
Okay. You will escort me down the stage.
Yes. The way it is due to people like you and Dolly ji, yes. And Dolly ji, a few words from you so that we can close this part of the event and move on to the readings after that. Dolly ji? I can't.
Uma, that was brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Lovely.
All right. Thank you,
as
Dolly.
they are now saying, Adab Arde.
Adab. So, thank you, Dolly.
So, World Heritage greeting now.
Yes.
Secular.
True. Thank you, Dolly ji. Thank you, Maji. आपने आज समय हमारे साथ spend किया and for launching the book and for this, it can't be a better introduction to the next part of the evening where we have wonderful actors coming to read parts from the different plays. So thank you and yes, now I could see you off the stage and I shall allow the actors to come on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dolly.
All the
Thank
best.
you, Maji.
Love you all.
Bye.
So I should.
It's
exit.
the top X on your screen, I believe. Yeah. Dolly ji, it should be the top X.
Yeah, but it's not going.
On the
I did that.
It's on the top right. There should be a cross.
Oh, no, I did on the top right.
Okay.
Yeah. But it says stop sharing video with 100 monologues, 100 weeks and viewers. What was that?
I think you have flipped the camera.
Alexa off.
I think all that's happened is that you have flipped the camera, Dolly. It's there should still be a. Could you try that again?
I think mine's gone off now. I'm not on. Oh, wait, no, the books are on, yeah. Do I say leave or cancel?
I do not think it's voice activated, Dolly G. So I think you might still have to do the very manual pressing the cross on the top right of the screen.
I know I've done that, but it says stop sharing video and 100 monologues.
Okay, I think Dolly G figured out that one, and so that was fantastic. And I have the great honor of inviting Denzil Smith on stage. So welcome, Denzil G. Thank you so much for being here. Just as an introduction to the audience who do not know Denzil G already, he is a film and stage actor and producer. He's known for his stage and screen roles as a character actor. He's acted in over 50 plays and over 60 films. Some of the notable international productions include Merchants of Bollywood and Life of Buddha. His film credits include Viceroy's House, Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, The Lunchbox, and The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. He has also been, and he's no stranger to OTT TV shows on Netflix and Prime, such as Beacon House and Delhi Crime, Beacon House and Delhi Crime, among others. So thank you so much, Denzil G, for being with us. And Denzil G is going to read from. He's going to be reading. Yes, he's going to be reading from the play Meeting with Yama, and the script revolves around a young woman who dies and finds herself in Yamapura, face to face with Lord Yama. Over to you, Denzil G.
Thank you. So this is a reading from Lord Yam. By the way, Umaji, that was fabulous. A great analysis of Anjuji's writing. I have been associated with it for many years. So a meeting with Lord Yam. A small introduction. What I've done is actually there is a character called Brinda who also comes in, but Anju and me have edited this piece and made it a sort of a monologue. So, meeting from Lord Yam, an alcove, warm and pleasant with fancy chairs and a table. Lord Yam looks dapper and stylish. Subbu, his dog, is delighted to see his master, licks him all over. Yam returns the affection, tossing a biscuit in his mouth. Brinda looks on awkwardly. Yam smiles charmingly and walks around her. Yam. Old? Speak. Why so many dead this week? Another Mahabharata. I'll deal with the rascals later. Evil takes its own course. Now, what shall I do with you? Practically a bag of bones. You are Brinda Pillai, 33 years, KG teacher at Barnes School. You like dancing, drinking brandy, collecting stamps, breeding fish. I was just guessing. Tell me, how do you feel? I understand. You are naturally nervous. Yet, I sense a certain confidence. Most freeze at my sight. Some even die of fright. No. This is not my abode. As you know, souls have come and Klatragupt's register. I'm just offering a helping hand before I take Subbu for a stroll. Most men want to rise in stature, climb the ladder of life. You, a peanut whose shell did not crack. human life, a gift, and you wasted it. You, my dear, had a long journey. Here, we must pass judgment for saints or sinners. You, I think, are a bit of both. Sometimes one, sometimes the other. Good and evil go hand in hand. Both are at your command. But deeds usually surpass the good. Bad deeds usually surpass the good. That's when Chitragupt demotes them. In your case, there are no records. So if you want to earn your return, tell me in a few words, what have you learned in this past life? You have already been reduced to ashes, a perplexing, paradoxical personality. Chitragupt did right to send you here. I enjoy good company with drinks. Now, let's return to the test. You could relate interesting matter if disengaged from idle chatter. Why take things to heart? Don't forget, all is Maya. You are a teacher who seldom fails her students. You would rather let them play all day with your rabbits. Your plight as a human makes you suspicious. You, like your fellow men, may have learnt very little. However, to know if you have, I ask you to consider 4 words: love, desire, ambition, and hope. What have you learnt about each? Tell me in words brief. My time with you may soon run out. Shall we start with the word love? I ask about love, not hate. You are truly obsessed, or you wouldn't be here. Sometimes I'm carried away too. My dear, if I may be truthful, I feel a little intoxicated by you. However, it'll last only as long as this drink, so I'll let it pass. Nothing is ever clear to humans, sometimes not even to gods. However, we must pass verdict. Sadly, we who judge others have also been judged in the past. Is this my test or yours? Moksha is best not discussed, but experienced by blessed souls. You may be one, who knows? If you learn with every birth in your short lifespan on earth, the impossible may be possible. Every life is an episode, like a television series. The previous impacts the next. Now, shall we proceed to desire? Innocence, simplicity, honesty, virtues held high down there are indeed valued up here. Subbu knows nothing lasts forever. His master often gives into temptation. He forgets, too, that to be human can often be a real pleasure. Woman of earth, you amuse me. I'd like to give you a taste of paradise. However, I must pass judgment. Will you say something? Pillai, Pillai, Brinda Pillai. Will you say something? That's it.
Thank you. That was brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, DENZIL for that. Now I really need to see the rest of the dialogue, and I'm guessing the audience thinks the same. So, you mentioned that you had discussed the characters and the play with Anju. So, could you also share a few your impressions about the play, and just what do you have to say in your own words now?
No, when I initially read some of the plays, I found them quite obtruse, and I couldn't quite. I had to reread them to understand quite a few things about him. And especially talking to Anju, I've got quite a few insights, but they are very relatable and easily performable. So that's the great part of it. It is always a pleasure to read and sort of perform Anju's plays, and working with her has been delightful.
So thank you so much, Jansuji. I'm sure that now between Umaji and then you reading from an excerpt from Meeting with Lord Yama, we just like, okay, this is it. We really, really need to go after this book now. But thank you so much, Jansuji, for joining us today.
Thank you, Anju. Thank you.
All right, take care, Jansuji. Thank you. Thank you, Kanika ji, for being here. It is such a pleasure. So we obviously, like the audience would have guessed, we are on to the next play. We're on to the next wonderful actor, and I'd like to welcome Kanika ji here. And I'm sure she is no stranger to anybody here, but I'd like to give a little bit of an introduction. So Kanika is a graduate of National School of Drama and has made her mark in the field of theatre, movies and TV serials and commercials. She's worked with theatre stalwarts like Satyadev Dubeji and movie moguls like Yash Raj and Dharma Productions, and in British, Dutch and German projects. She's also producer of plays and short films, and today she's here with us to read from the play called Gold. And as Umaji had already mentioned, so I'm going to just say it again. Gold is a story of three women, characters from different backgrounds, who find themselves in a very unusual circumstance of being in the possession of stolen jewelry. And well, there's a lot of discussions, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it. And I will give the stage over to Kanika ji.
Thank you, Preeti, for the lovely introduction, and a special thanks to Uma for really giving a beautiful description of plays of Anju. So I'll be reading three monologues from Cold Gold. So the first one is Vidya. She's an ayah from a village in Maharashtra. Vidya. Why Devika madam wants to wait till tomorrow? Why she left some of my jewelry with Maji? Will they give me? No, they will not. They will not. I have to go now and take it. How can I trust anyone? Especially these rich people. They are not rich. They are poor and very, very greedy. If Raman is in jail, he'll call his friends and get me killed. I will leave now. Without gold? No. Why should I give it to them? It's mine. I'll wait. Devika madam will give me tomorrow. She's a good person. She was poor like me. Deva, help me and please send Prashant. Deva, nothing more bad to happen to our family. I will get my gold from them only. They will not give me tomorrow. I know they will not. I will take it now. Now I will read Kamini. Kamini is an aging actor. Kamini. I will have a grandson. I will name him Avinash. He will look like me. I will take him to the club and meet my friends. That Aya is a thief. Why should we give her anything? We should have put her in jail. Devika is kind. She has been very good to her. I should not ask for anything more. I will go to Devika's room now and tell her that I don't want to give any more to the Aya. We should throw her out. Did you hear it? Her brother called her Randi. That's what she is. What a drama in my own house, like a film. I am strong again. I can act. But who will give me a role? I will ask Karan Johar. I knew his father. He was my friend. You remember him? So charming. Now I will read the third woman, Devika.
Yeah.
Devika. Vidya Aya, my in-law and me. How and why we got the stolen jewelry, God alone knows. We certainly don't deserve it. That's always the story. One never knows what will come next. As they say, expect the unexpected. Who knows what the end of the story is? Anyway, cheers to all three of us. Cheers to crooks and good books. That's it.
Fantastic. It was so amazing to see three characters, and it's like magic. It's like I can see Vidya, I can see Devika, I can see Kamini, and you just give it one split second and the characters change. So that was wonderful, Kanika. You breathed life into that play right now. In all of 2 seconds, you transformed and brought the play to life. So thank you so much. So you read this play, you have obviously understood all the characters. So it'd be really nice to know what are your thoughts, what are your impressions from this play?
You know, it's like women are women, you know. Good or bad is not the thing, you know. I mean, and the way Anju brings the characters on plate, you know, you just enjoy it to the full. You know, you want to cry, you will cry. You want to bitch, you will bitch, you know. So it's very in reality. So I think it's fun to have these kinds of shades, you know. So in short, I will say like, yeah, women are women. Cheers to them.
Wonderful. Yes. They like each of the characters you read right now, they're very real. There was not like, oh, they're so practical that I can't see them happening. It was just like, yeah, of course. That's exactly a real person. So
and you know, Anju, what I like about Anju is when she gets inside the women's soul and mind.
Yeah.
And you know then how they play their havoc with naughtiness, mischievousness, and to grab the good of life, you know. So yeah, that's what I love, and I think that's what reflects also.
True, and those three characters definitely full of life, definitely full of multiple characters. They're just like, even their own self, they're just like so many. They're vulnerable, they're strong, they're crafty. Everything is happening together.
Yes.
So,
and here they have shown three different women, but actually you can find all of this in one.
Yeah, exactly. And all of them in each character. So yeah, it was just wonderful to see all those shades, like even the aging actress and the maid, they all seem to at once show multiple personalities among them.
Yes.
And yet it's very real. It's not like they're being not realistic for being that way. So thank you, Kanika ji. Thank you so much for your time and for being with us today, breathing life into the play, and thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, I need to go now. We need an exit now.
Yeah, I wish there was a stage that I could do this properly and I could lead you out, which is how it should be done. But I have to be sitting here in my room very far away. So I guess it's just the cross the top right of the screen.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Preeti, for having us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanika ji. Thank you. Okay. All right. So it is 2 plays down and we have 2 more readings, and we are basically covering a lot of the plays that are in the book. And as you can see that the characters are very real, very Mumbai, but the drama is amazing. So I will now invite my friend and amazing actor, writer, director Sonu Anand onto the stage. And Sonu ji, you are welcome. And by the way, if the audience doesn't already know this, he is the person who started 100 Monologues as a wonderful platform for actors to practice, to showcase, and to constantly inspire themselves and others. So Soji is the brains behind that, and also my wonderful friend and support. So Soji is going to be reading from The Last Train. And The Last Train is a political satire and touches on the lives of commuters cramped in an overcrowded local train. We all know what local trains are like in Bombay. And the train is stranded in the middle of the night, and the happenings are, well, obviously going to be very surreal and upset. And only possible perhaps in Mumbai. And Sonuji is going to read an excerpt. So over to you, Sonuji.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And for actors who are watching, you can send us your videos here. And by the way, let's start the reading. So, the first scene is about the train being stranded, and then there are three friends who try and get off, but they have to come back because one guy gets his leg hurt. So this is the second scene that I'll be reading. So now on to the reading. Scene 2. 2 a.m. Moonlight floods the compartment. An interplay of light and darkness. Howls are heard in the distance. The rag picker is asleep on the seat, snoring lightly. Rajesh and Naresh enter noisily. Rajesh limps painfully, struggling to climb in the compartment. The rag picker wakes up, moves to the floor, watches Rajesh intently. Rajesh moaning. If I die here, I'll be lucky. Who do I have in this world? Nobody at all. Only my sister and that bloodsucker brother-in-law. Let him take everything. I don't care. Ow. I have nothing, all alone and broke. I should have gotten married. Even Indra dissed me. Women want money. Naresh calming him. Let me see your foot. Ouch! Don't touch it. All your fault walking in front of me. Were you playing hopscotch or what? Sorry, accidents happen. I don't know how you lost balance. Because of you. Gopal could have stayed with us, no? If you had not tripped on the tracks, we could have gone with him. Examining the ankle. Looks like a bad sprain. He ties Rajesh's foot with a handkerchief. No, let it be. Let it get infected. I'll die here. You won't die. Just pray for this train to start. I would better close the doors. Naresh tries to shut the door. It creaks, refuses to budge. Rajesh. Now these damn fans are off. Naresh. Thieves could come in. Yeah, Phulan Devi, Gauli. Naresh trying to close the door. What a mess we are in. Rajesh getting up painfully. Rajesh getting up painfully. Chalo, I'll help you shut it. Naresh. Both try and fail again. I don't think Gopal will return. We'll just have to wait for the train to start. Rajesh wakes up the rag picker who reluctantly helps him. The door moves inch by inch but remains half open. Naresh. You sleep, I'll keep guard. How can I sleep? That bloodsucker brother-in-law is waiting for me. You keep on borrowing money. Bad habit. Okay, I gamble. So what? I need to relax. Day after day in this dirty train and that broken office chair, it's too much to take. Yeah, gambling is my nasha, but I'm not always a loser. I win sometimes. I buy the right stocks and shares. Didn't I give you a tip for Prabhat Industries? You made money on it, okay? I've been losing recently and I'm broke, but I'll play as much as I like. Pointing to the rag picker. Even if I become like that bum. So what? Who the hell cares? A long pause. I've got an idea. Why don't we give this chap some money? He'll hold me on one side and we can both walk to Khandeshwar station. No, my whole body is paining trying to get you back here. You're not a baby. Keep guard. I'm resting for some time. I don't know why we came back here. Naresh. You want to sleep on the tracks? Keep watch. Rajesh curses, puts on the fan switch. It does not start. He stands on the seat and tries to move the fan with his fingers. Dejected, he sits, groans. Wow. The rag picker drags his sack side to side. Rajesh. Hey, don't make that noise. The rag picker mumbles to himself. Then he takes out some odds and ends, including a broken box, a long spanner, which he puts on the floor. Rajesh spots it. Hey, give me that. Rajesh gets up and attempts to move the fan with the spanner. Fails. The rag picker starts rummaging through his sack. He takes out a dirty bottle of oil, places it on the seat. Rajesh moves away and quickly indicating that he does not want it. Rajesh, where are you going? Jana kahan? Rajesh, you live on this train? The rag picker remains silent. Rajesh, exasperated, limps to the door, peers out. This must be last train tonight. Damn it. Don't want to spend the night here. Looks out of the compartment door. Kaun hai? Kaun hai? Turns to the rag picker. Hey, you help me walk. Come, get up. He hesitates at first, then Rajesh takes a few steps. Overwhelmed by pain, Rajesh collapses. I can't. He takes a kerosene tablet and lies down. The rag picker prepares to leave. Rajesh, hey, ruko. Naresh turns to his side, lets out a snort. The rag picker sits and rummages through his sack again. He takes out a small pen knife and rolls it around his hand. Rajesh sees it. Give it to me. The rag picker refuses at first, touching the gilded edge of the knife with his finger. Just as Rajesh tries to wake up Naresh, the rag picker gives him the knife. 10 rupiya. Rajesh, removing a note immediately. Here, take 20. The rag picker puts the money in his sack. Rajesh touches the blunt knife and nurses his sprain. Then he gets up to urinate. And just as he is about to finish, the rag picker comes from behind, startling him. Chaku sahab? What? I paid you 20 rupees. He roughly pulls the knife out of Rajesh's shirt. In the struggle, Rajesh hits his head on the side of the train. Naresh wakes up with the noise. The rag picker leaves quickly. Rajesh, stop him! Naresh, where? Who? Rajesh, chor, sala chor, my knife, he robbed me. Naresh, I told you to shut the door. Rajesh, get him, he's sitting there, go now. Naresh peers outside, sees the rag picker sitting a little away by the side of the tracks. It's pitch dark. He returns and in a rush of energy managed to shut the door a little. Rajesh, Chutia, look at him cleaning his teeth. Sala, this is the time to brush. Don't look at him. That chore? Look, get her. I'm going out to get him. Unable to walk, he flops on the seat. A piercing bird call is heard. Rajesh, putting up his feet. Ouch, give me another crossing. Naresh, kissing his Sai Baba ring. Sai Baba will protect us. He has never let me down. Rajesh lies down exhausted. Rajesh, kya paap kiya? 8 a.m. we catch the train and reach the office. Work all day like donkeys. Catch the night train. Half my life is over. I'm not even married. I drink some water. Try to sleep. Someone will help us. A long silence. Rajesh is very restless. Rajesh, how will I pay Shah tomorrow? 20,000 rupees. 20,000? I thought you owed him 5. I'm bankrupt. Nothing I do works out. Everything goes wrong. Nasibi khota hai. Naresh gently. Rajesh, try to think of happy times. We won the inter-college cricket match in our second year. You hit a 6 like Gavaskar. I was out for a duck. Gopal was the fastest bowler in the team. Now I am out for a duck. Shah has threatened me. I have to get money tonight. Threatened? Naresh, I owe him from the last month too. You have to stop gambling. Your father was a social worker. Look at you. He's dead. Keeping an eye on you from up there. I'm sure he was a kind soul. Rajesh gets up, pressing his head. The speaker crackles. Announcer. Election Hangama brought to you by the PR Department of Indian Railways. Today's presentation is by a candidate from the RNP party. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Election Hangama. Please go ahead and talk to the commuters, your captive audience. Captive? Captive Sala? Everything breaks down, but never the voice box of politicians. Politician, clearing his throat. Hello, I am Mr. Gokhale, a member of RNP party. In our manifesto, we promise you good infrastructure, roads, new trains, the best in the world. Loudspeaker screeches, his voice recedes. Rajesh hysterically stands up and hits the speaker box and pulls the stop chain repeatedly. Thank you.
Fantastic. You left it at the cusp, and now I'm like, अब क्या हो रहा है? अब क्या होने वाला है?
Now you got to buy the book and read it, okay?
Yes. Obviously, you have dramatized such a crucial part of it. I'm like, वो चोर है कि नहीं है, the rack picker. But anyway, tell me.
The rack picker plays an important part in the play. Actually, I recommend reading this play. I really loved it. I really loved how Anjuji used the local train to say so much about the life of what happens with a Mumbaiker. And as Uma ma'am said, it's kind of a reference to the bomb blast, no? Somehow. Like the chaos that happens. Obviously, it's something else. You will know when you read it. But thank you for my time.
Thank you for your time, Sonu. Thank you so much for breathing life into one more play from the book Mumbai Traps. And shall we call Aditya, Riya, and we have one more person? We have 3 actors coming.
Absolutely.
And so I am going to welcome them, and I am going to go off stage for the short brief time when 3 actors are going to be there. So over to you guys. You will be reading from If Wishes Were Horses. This is the last reading of the evening, and I am going to step away from the stage so that 3 people can come in. And welcome, guys. And if you could do me a favor, the audience, just so you know, you will have the pleasure of listening to experienced actors, dedicated theatre and film actors who will be live into yet another play from the book Mumbai Traps. So over to you guys. I will switch off for now.
Hi, Riya.
Hello, I'm Riya, and that is Aditya Rajawat. And we are going to read a play, a scene from the play If Wishes Were Horses. And we are reading it in Hindi actually. So, because the play is so contemporary and the play is so relatable and easily adaptable to everyday circumstances, we thought that why not give it a twist and try to adapt it to a language that could reach out to more people. So here is our attempt.
Okay, so let's start. मेरी आवाज क्लियर है ना एकदम?
Yeah.
मेरी आवाज क्लियर है?
Yeah. Vishal, over to you.
Okay. Aditya.
हेलो. मेरी आवाज क्लियर है? रिया, क्या मेरी आवाज क्लियर है प्रॉपर?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. मैं तो रास्ते से जा रहा था टनना, मैं तो भेल पूरी खा रहा था टनना, मैं तो रास्ते से जा।
हाँ?
अरे बाबा, मैं सेंटा क्रूज गया था ना रोज डिलीवर करने, भूल गई क्या?
झूठ मत बोल, किसके साथ था तू?
अरे किसी के साथ नहीं था, और अभी बहुत थक गया रे मैं। चल घर चलते ना।
तू पहले मेरे को बता किसके साथ था?
अरे दीनिया के साथ यार, खास दरबार गए थे हम लोग।
कितना झूठ बोलता है रे तू, कभी सुधरेगा नहीं, हमेशा झूठ बोलता रहता है मेरे से।
देख, एकदम रेखा माफिक लगती है तू जब गुस्सा करती ना, एकदम रेखा।
हिंदी फिल्म देख के आया है क्या? रेखा लगती है।
मैं क्या सोच रहा था आज, तेरा नाम ना चंद्रिका से बदल के ना चंपा, चमेली, गुलाब, मोगरा। तो गुलाब है मेरा, गुलाब।
कल 8 दर्जन गुलाब का ऑर्डर है, 5 किलो मोगरा और 2 किलो वो
चंपा, तेरा पति तेरे से प्यार मोहब्बत की बातें कर रहे, और तू क्या खाली पीली एकदम हिसाब किताब लेके बैठ गई।
तो तू ही बोल कि मैं क्या करूं। ये पूरा फॉरेन और गोरा लोग ना मुंबई छोड़ के चला गया है, ये पूरा फूलों का धंधा ठंडा हो गया है।
तू ना टेंशन मत ले, तू टेंशन मत ले, ये धंधा मेरे पे छोड़ दे, तू टेंशन मत ले, समझ ली? ए धक्का नहीं देने का, देख रही है ना, स्टोन माफिक बॉडी एकदम, गोरा लोग आए थे ना, गोरा लोग, हमने ही भगाया था उनको, ऐसा लाद दिया तड़ी पार सीधा। क्या बोलती?
पता है, चले अब।
अरे रुकना, तेरे को क्या इतनी जल्दी हो रही है रे? गणपत को तो आने दे।
इधर है यार, वो उसकी वजह से अपने को हमेशा लेट होता है।
उसका धंधा ही ऐसा है रे, वो क्या करेगा बेचारा? अगर उसको पूरे दिन भर अगर कोई बकरा मिला तो ठीक, वरना खुद बकरा बन के अक्खा मुंबई के चक्कर काटता रहता है। ये सब छोड़ रहे, अपना छोटू, अपना छोटू कैसा
अरे
है?
सुन ना, तेरे को कुछ
बोलना।
बताना है।
क्या हुआ, बोलना।
पुष्पा मैम साहब है ना,
हाँ तो क्या हो गया उसको?
वो मर गई।
क्या? कब हुआ ये?
अभी कुछ दिनों पहले उनको दिल का दौरा पड़ा था।
क्या बात कर रही है? तब भी इतने दिनों से दिखाई नहीं दे रही रे। लेकिन अपनी दिवाली के बख्शीश का क्या हो गया रे? तेरी साड़ी, पिछले बार तेरे को लाल कलर की साड़ी दी थी, ग्रीन कलर का बॉर्डर दिया था, सब खल्लास, सब खल्लास।
अरे और भी कुछ बताना है।
क्या हुआ बताना? अरे वो छोड़, तू ये बता, तेरे को पता कैसे पड़ा?
आज दोपहर में वकील साहब से।
वकील साहब? कौन वकील साहब?
हाँ वो पुष्पा मैम साहब का ड्राइवर है ना, वो आया था मेरे को बुलाने आज।
अच्छा, क्यों?
वो उनके ऑफिस में लेके गया। वो उधर शालिनी मैम साहब, छोटा साहब, बड़ा साहब सब थे।
तो क्यों 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 क्यों?
तो क्या क्यों 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 क्यों? उनको ऑफिस है तो उधर ही सोएंगे ना वो लोग।
ये मेरी चंपा, तेरे को काई को लेके गया रे?
शालिनी मैम साहब बोल रही थी कि पुष्पा मैम साहब ना मेरे नाम पे एक फ्लैट छोड़ के गई है।
क्या?
अरे शालिनी मैम साहब बोल रही थी कि पुष्पा मैम साहब मरने से पहले मेरे नाम पे एक फ्लैट छोड़ के गई है।
क्या बोल रही है तू? क्या बोल रही है?
अरे सच है, वो वकील बोल रहा था कि वो ना अपने वो विल में लिख के गई है।
विल में? ये विल क्या होता है रे?
अरे वो इतना पेपर होता है एक।
पेपर? ये लोक सत्ता, टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया, ऐसा क्या?
अरे ये रे, वो अमीर लोग क्या लिख के जाते हैं मरने से पहले?
ओ लेटर ऊपर वाले को। अपन आ रहे ले अपने लिए एसी रूम बुक करना का है क्या? ऐसा
कुछ नहीं हो सकता तेरा, बकवास। ये ले,
ये क्या है रे?
ये ना वो फ्लैट का पता है।
फ्लैट का पता है? ये कौन दिया रे तेरे को?
वो ड्राइवर दिया ना, पुष्पा मैम साहब के साथ ना उधर आता जाता रहता था बार बार। और वो मेरे को क्या बोला पता है? वो नरीमन पॉइंट पे कैसा ऊंचा ऊंचा बिल्डिंग है, एकदम वैसे ऊंचा बिल्डिंग में फ्लैट है।
और क्या बोला रे? और क्या बोला तेरे को?
वो बोला बेस्ट ऑफ लक।
क्या बोला?
बेस्ट ऑफ लक।
बस स्टॉप?
अरे बस स्टॉप नहीं रे बबन। अरे सुन मेरी बात, वो जो घर है ना अपना, वो एक बेस्ट के बस से भी एकदम बहुत बड़ा है।
क्या बात कर रही थी? इतना उसमें वॉचमैन भी रहेगा? कंपाउंड में मारुति का गाड़ी होगा, और अपन दोनों जब एंटर करेंगे तो सलाम ठोकेगा, सलाम साहिब, सलाम मेम साहब, सलाम। अरे अपनी तो जिंदगी बदल गई रे।
अरे देखो गणपत आ गया।
ये गणपत
अभी तक अच्छे ही हो, गए कौन नहीं? जाओ, मारे को मारे तखत पे आराम करवा दो। धंधा अरे बहुत मंदा चल रहा है भाइयों। पूरे दिन में सिर्फ एक फॉरेनर मिला मारे को। ऐसे ही चलता रहा तो मैंने राजस्थान वापस जाना पड़ेगा। इस टूटी टांग पे पूरा बंबई घुमाया मैंने उसे, और वो मारा मत तो खा गया अंग्रेजी बोल के। What is this? This is what? That is what? यार पीछे देने का टाइम आयो तो it is so much. It is enough. अरे हम दोनों के मुंह फूट रहे हैं, ये बात होगी?
अरे वो पुष्पा मेम साहब थी ना?
पुष्पा?
तू खाली सुन, दिमाग मत लगा, समझा?
ठीक, क्या बात होगी उसको?
अरे वो पुष्पा मैडम ना निकल ली, मर गई रे।
मर गई तो क्या होगो?
अरे
बता ना इसको।
अरे वो पुष्पा मैम साहब ना अभी कुछ दिन पहले मर गई, और मरने से पहले अपनी चंद्रिका के लिए वर्ली में फ्लैट छोड़ के गई है।
हाँ, ये देख, इसका पता दे, इसका पता।
ले ना, ले ले ये ले।
ओ बुढ़ी औरत पागल हो गई होगी पक्का।
मेरे को भी ये लगता है भाई, मरने से पहले उसका दिमाग सटक गया होगा रे।
तुम हंस क्यों रहे हो? सच है ये, मैं उनके परिवार वालों से मिलके आई हूँ।
ये गणपत हंसने, सच्चे ही सच्चे ही। वो अगर ये सच है ना तो चलते हैं ना, फिर देख के आते। चल आजा गणपत आजा।
नहीं नहीं, अभी नहीं, अभी तो
अभी नहीं? काई को अभी नहीं? अरे अपना फ्लैट है ना।
अरे वो बड़ा साहब है ना, वो बड़े गुस्से में लग रहा था। मेरे को तो तभी लगा कि अभी चुटके मारेगा मेरे को। अभी
तेरे को मारेगा, तेरे को मारेगा, और मैं यहाँ खाली पीली देखता रहेगा। अरे हार्ट पास सब कुछ, आंख नाक सब फोड़ देगा मैं उसका, समझा ना? क्या समझता है अपने आप को?
अरे नहीं रे, अभी नहीं जा सकते, पहले मेरे को वो वकील साहब से पूछने दो।
अरे अपन को किसी से पूछेगा रे? अरे अपना फ्लैट है ना। ये तू रहने दे चंद्रिका। ए गणपत, तेरे को ताला तोड़ना आता है क्या?
तो नहीं, लेकिन आज तोड़ देंगे। चलो अपन
तोड़ेंगे, चल।
अरे पागल हो गए क्या तुम दोनों? जेल जाना है? ताला तोड़ेंगे? बैठो यहीं पे। ठहरो जरा, मुझे कल कल वो पुलिस काका से बात करने दो।
ये वकील, पुलिस, फ्लैट विल, ये क्या लगा रखा है रे तूने? क्या लगा रखा है ये?
भाई लेकिन ये सब बात अगर सच हुई तो मारे ना भूलिएगा, ठीक?
तू पागल हो गया क्या गणपत? वो फ्लैट अगर अपन को मिला ना तो सबसे पहले तू ये अपना गाइड का धंधा छोड़ देने का, क्या बोल रहा है?
मैं तो छोड़ दूंगा, लेकिन आप भी अपना लोगों का धंधा छोड़ देना। और
छोड़ देंगे
कि इम्पोर्टेड प्लास्टिक वाला ये मंगा देना मेरे लिए।
ये क्या छोटी बातें कर रहा है, लग जाएगा रे। अरे अगर अपन को फ्लैट मिला ना गणपत, तो तेरा भाई बड़े साहब माफी अपनी चंपा के लिए, अपनी मोगरा, अपनी गुलाब के लिए डेली पोयम का कविता पढ़ेंगे, कविता।
ये कविता पोयम कुछ नहीं भाई, प्लीज।
अरे तू सुनना, खाली एक बार सुन तो ले।
नहीं भाई नहीं, प्लीज यार, समझ नहीं।
अरे गाइड तू सुन तो ले एक बार, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, सुनना एक बार।
लेकिन आज नहीं, कल सुन। हाँ।
अरे रकत दगड़ चिकट माटी, दगड़ माटीचा गार।
पुष्पा मेम साहब का घर।
राइम चल रहा है।
घर मिल गया, मजा आ गया।
घर मिल गया, नसीब खुल गया, मजा आ गया।
नसीब खुल गया, मजा आ गया, लेकिन चाबी
नहीं रे।
पागल हो तुम दोनों। And see, thank you.
Thank you guys. Great effort. And now one of you have to exit. So Riya, हाँ तुम बिजी हो तो तुम एग्जिट कर लो, तब तक मैं प्रीति को बुला लेता हूँ। And Preeti ji has been invited. Let's see. Hi Preeti, take over.
Hi. Okay, so guys,
Hi, Preeti.
that was wonderful. That was so good, and you have good choir skills. Like band की तरह शुरू हो गया था तुम लोगों का गाना, so that was really funny. And tell me, it was really refreshing to hear Hindi mein the whole play, and there is a Rajasthani. Is that right? Did I get that right? So there was a Rajasthani, strong Rajasthani in there, and there is, I believe, the poetry was Marathi. So this was fantastic. How did you guys prepare for this? And the paper is going between the screens. Like, ये क्या हो रहा है इधर? So that was really awesome. Like, एक जगह पे तो नहीं है, पर कुछ तो हो रहा है. So tell me guys, how did you prepare for this? How did you find the play, the characters? Yeah. Tell me.
Actually, Riya come up to me that there is a scene and we have to perform, and I read the whole play, and the whole play was amazing.
Yeah.
And I really got excited for that play, that Thakore part. And actually, we were reading in the English actually
Huh.
in the first.
Yeah.
But there's a lack of feeling in that whole scene.
Yeah.
Then I asked to the Riya, and I asked her that can we do it in Hindi, just because of feel, because
Huh.
feel is not made there. So Riya said, let me ask to the ma'am, and then I think ma'am say yes to the Hindi part, and then
Yeah.
we prepared and we are really enjoying it. This is so fun. This is so fun.
Dikh raha tha, it was so evident that you guys were enjoying it, so I was also enjoying it, and I'm sure the audience, इतने सारे hearts उड़ रहे थे ना उधर से, तो मुझे दिख रहा है कि audience was also enjoying it. So how about a Rajasthani accent? I mean, like, do you speak Rajasthani or did you just practice this?
I totally practice it with the help of Aditya, because he is from Rajasthan, so he helped me.
Okay. Nice. Really, really nice. So, thank you guys. Thank you so much for this. And thank you for doing this very different interpretation and breathing life, and made it so fun. So, thank you so much. And for your time.
Same here. We enjoyed a lot. And
Yes.
you are being great. You are being great. I'm watching you the whole live, and you being so great. You are really great speaker and a listener.
Yes, I am a good listener. इतना अच्छा तो कर रहे हो आप लोग तो फिर obviously I was like maybe I should put myself on blank, but then I was like nee, I'm the audience of the official audience here, and I loved you guys doing things, and it makes my job easier for me. So thank you. आप लोगों के just so the audience knows, these guys have been showcasing their art on 100 Monologues as well. So in the audience, if you guys like our actors' work, please go back to our page and you will see everything by Vishal, Aditya, Riya, and Sonu ji in there. So, and follow these guys. There'll be more amazing stuff these guys put up all the time. So, see you guys. Bye, Vishal. Bye, Aditya.
Bye.
Bye. And I would like to invite Anju ji, if Anju ji is still online. And if you guys have questions, this would be a good time. You could post your questions right now, and I can try and read them and have Anju ji join us and answer those
Hi,
questions.
Preeti. Should we add Anju ji?
Anju ji, Hanji, I have been hoping that I told the audience to start posting questions if they have. So, अगर अंजू जी join करे तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा.
I've invited her.
Okay, great.
And Dolly
like
ji.
I said, okay, wonderful.
Okay,
So,
over to you guys.
Yes. And welcome back, Anju ji. And if there is questions among the audience, please, this is a good time. You can start putting them up here, and I can make sure that they get asked. And yes, so in the meantime, I have a few questions. I'm quite sure these are the questions that a lot of the actors, when we were discussing it, had come up, and I'm quite sure these are questions going through your mind. So, Anju ji, I wanted to know what was the inspiration behind putting this particular compilation of plays together? Is there a thought? I mean, they are so diverse, as we learned today through the readings and the discussion, that it is so diverse. So, is there a thought behind how you strung together the plays for this book? Welcome back, Dolly ji. So good to see you back again. So we are into the Q&A session of the evening, and we're here to discuss the plays and the book. And if there are audience questions, I will read them out as well. So the question, we have a question if this last train has been written in English or in Hindi and Marathi. So, Anju ji?
Can I,
yes,
being senior and the senior most, jump the queue and perhaps say something?
Absolutely, please, yes.
You know, I've read every single play in Mumbai Traps, but my God, they came alive in the readings that the actors did. It was very good. The three youngsters and the ones in the what was the other play that they did, the Last Train?
Yeah.
They were very, very good. And I would love to interact with them, not just now, but hopefully when I bump into them at some theatre or the other, see them on stage.
Yeah.
And Anju, what a wonderful job you've done. I'm sorry that I was not that familiar with your work over the years, but my God, it was such a body of work, and the sensitivities and the approach to personalities and situations and human nature and what exists in the environment. I mean, amazing. Mind you, it was all brought alive, very well put together by Uma. You know, I don't have the intelligence that Uma has, but she was wonderful the way she put it all, you know. She observed it all. And I've enjoyed the evening very much. Just continue writing and let me act in one of your plays before I and play the harp upstairs.
Dolly, you know, well, obviously coming from you, it means hell of a lot to me. And I suppose I've always been a bit of an outsider because I was living in Canada for many years and I missed out on the early developments in Bombay. And I think getting into the theatre scene requires association with a good director. I had that with Anita Oberoi and some others. But you know, to have that continue, you know, Dolly, to continue in theatre all the time, it's you really need a director. And you know how the scene is that the writer directors are often the same. Now, I did not choose that route because I don't think I have the talent to be a director, and I don't like it either. So I guess I was a bit in the background because I was not associated with so many directors. Maybe I should have been more aggressive. I
don't know. Your writing is so good, and the way it has been interpreted by the people who participated today, did they need a director? I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
They sort of directed.
I think the credit goes to them, but it goes to them. They directed themselves.
No, I agree that in some cases you do need a director, but it's not that important. The play has to be important, and then the way director puts it across is what comes out. But in your case, as I said, it's so well written, and with the content of it, that the actors that participated brought out that whole thing so well. And this being bilingual was terrific. You know, I must confess that I've been brought up to speak in the way that I'm speaking right now. Everything, whether it was I haven't done too many. I have done a few Indian plays, but not too many. So they've always been Death of a Salesman, Streetcar Named Desire, stuff like that, you know. And but it was wonderful. It was so refreshing to have these people talk about situations that we see and deal with all the time. Now, like for instance, if Wishes Were Horses, there are so many that, particularly in the Parsi community, forgive me sort of pointing that out, where they have willed their flats to their domestic workers. In a number of cases you have that. And then there are lots of cases in the High Court where they are fighting over property. I know I have a few lawyer friends who tell you about cases like that, where the families have, the owners, though the families live together, have willed their property to their servants who've been with them for 20 years or 30 years, you know. So, I mean, every single emotion that you brought out was so true. There was nothing, okay, except for the Yama one, maybe that was a little different. But again, very entertainingly different. You know, you could relate to that also.
Yeah.
But I must say, thank you for involving me in this. And I'm so glad that I read them all. And then hearing them brought them to life much more. The young kids did it very well. And these are young actors who I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
I know. I'm also quite surprised that they've had their own. And in future, maybe when we have some online shows, Dolly will definitely invite you for the whole performance, the whole play.
Okay, lovely, lovely. I'd love that. But thank you very much. And now I hand over to you to take over and talk to all the others that are waiting in queue.
Thank you, Dolly. Thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to see you and hear you talk. So I'm always like, do not want to talk right now because I'm like, this is good. I have Anju and I have Dolly here. I don't need to say anything. I'm like the good audience here who's like so happy to hear you guys talk. So but I know your time is precious, and so I understand if you need to go. But thank you so much, Dolly. And I'm hoping, and it's like you said, it is so impressive to see those characters come to life. And even though it's just a bit of a story, and hopefully we're going to see this on stage or Netflix or somewhere very soon, Anju. I'm sure it's been inspiring a whole bunch of people. And Dolly, those actors, they're all part of the 100 monologues that you have.
I would like to share one very touching response that I got to my book about a woman who wrote and said her mother had Alzheimer's and they'd had no communication at all. She hadn't spoken, she hadn't recognized anybody. And then I believe I came on the screen, on the TV screen, some interview or something or the other, and she immediately said Dolly Thakore. And this woman has written how wonderful it was. She said those were the most beautiful 15 minutes that she spent with her mother. And she went back again into amnesia or whatever, you know. But she talked about all of the way I dress, the way I wear, my bangles, my bindi and all that, which have never changed because I can't afford anything else. It remains the same. But it was so wonderful to have somebody say that it made a positive difference to their life.
Oh, you have no idea, Dolly. I can totally identify with the fact that she suddenly woke up and just recognized you. And yes, that you have that distinct style and you have been there.
Lovely.
Anju said,
I can't tell you how good it is to hear all that at this age.
My goodness, it is. You should know this is our feelings about seeing you on stage, hearing you talk. It's just amazing. I've seen your play.
I wish I had the talent that Anju had because I love her.
She does. Her book is very good.
She does.
I want to say two things. I know. Yeah. Can I say one thing? I forgot to mention that on the cover of the book there's a quote by Alec Padamsee, and
that's right. Yeah.
I guess I had thanked him personally when I met him, but I'd like to acknowledge the fact that he gave me this quote and I've been able to use it, and he's always encouraged. Everybody knows he encouraged playwrights, writers, everybody. There was no distinction for him that who approached him or who he approached. He never had that airs about him. At least I didn't feel that at least. So
actually, all the people I have known in my life have not been discriminatory in that sense or prejudiced about things. You know, we've just lost Jerson, who was also all-embracing, and what an encouraging character he was. Yeah. How many people, and Alec, how many people they have encouraged and put their careers where they are and things.
Yeah.
So I've been very lucky. That is why my book is called Regrets None. In all the years, I have had a very rich life, and now look, I mean, even at this age, I've acted in a Zoom play, sitting exactly where I am. My director is in Calcutta. My stage manager is in Chennai. My actors are in Calcutta and in Bangalore. Yeah. And so even at this age, at almost 79, I'm still involved and doing new things. So all the people who are listening in, particularly the young ones, go ahead, do what you want. Don't worry about who says what about you.
Oh my God.
Oh, words of the wise, Dolly G, words of the wise. We get so encumbered with so many things that to hear that is just so invigorating and freeing. So, yes, it is a pleasure to see you. It's always sparks me up, and I'm sure that's exactly what's happening in the audience too. We have seen you in plays, we have seen you, we have heard you talk, and we shall read your book. And I've been hearing about the book a lot, so yes, I shall read it. I mean, who doesn't want to have a life which gets finally has a title like Regrets None?
Listen, this is not about me. We have to talk about Anju and her
We
play.
will talk about that.
No, I don't.
So,
It's all part of the same thing.
Yes.
It's all part of the same thing, Dolly. You know, it's just does not feel any different.
Life has
I'm just
theatre
here for
and what
myself.
made us.
I'm not here for myself at all, please.
So,
And Preeti is, talking to us from the USA, by the way.
yes.
Dolly, Preeti is from the US. So
yeah.
it's been an interesting thing to see everybody.
Yeah, I am sitting here. It's early morning here, so
I know, so I believe.
so at least the good thing about our Zoom world and our Instagram world is that now I can actually be part of things back home, and be part of this wonderful evening and see all of you and to talk and have the honor of inviting everybody on stage like this, sitting so far away. So
And now Amazon has started delivering books to the States.
Yeah.
So you can, a friend of mine has just ordered and received 7 of my books by Amazon in New York.
fantastic,
So I feel quite
fantastic.
great about that.
Yes, and Anju, I think there was a question before from the audience. So Anjuji's book, Mumbai Traps, is available on Amazon. The link is in the bio in 100 Monologues. It's there. The link is in the bio. You can also contact Anjuji directly. The publisher are Dolly Books. So you can go to the Instagram handle of Anjuji, or you can go to Dolly Books, or you can come back to us at 100 Monologues, and the link is in the bio.
I think Amazon is easier. No, I think Amazon is the easiest. They supply all over the world. So just please go to Amazon.
In India, they're delivering within 24 hours.
And you can get the books.
Yes,
You can
within
book the
24
books.
hours. Yes.
Google the name. It's coming on.
So I'm giving all the options that are there, but yes, Amazon link is there in the bio. So everybody who has been listening, I'm sure, is trying to figure out where to get the book from, and the book is there available, and Amazon does a good job delivering it. So I just wanted to ask you one thing, Anjuji. Is there a thought behind how the plays, like, did you want it to be of different genres, or what was the thought of how you compiled these plays into this book?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
Okay, what I wanted to know was that the plays were all so different. Like, there is one that is with the Lord Yama, there is one which is on a train, there is one which is about the old lady and the property. So they're all so different. So I just wanted to know from Anjuji as to how, was it a thought, or did you decide that it's going to be as different? How did you decide which plays will go together?
Shall I tell you a secret?
Please tell
Shall I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I've got I think about 6-7 more plays, if not 10 more plays. And it was really difficult to choose because I was wondering which play I should complete, polish and put inside.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of other plays which I've not included, but I took these, as I said, the secret is, in a way, they were easy to put together. Some of the others get so complex that even I have to rethink many things. So I said, this is a pandemic, it'll be on for a year.
Yeah.
Let me take the easier ones.
Yeah.
The other ones follow, I guess, are a little more complex. There are some for teenagers, there are about suicide, different subjects.
Okay.
And then I was very happy, as I told you, that they all are about Mumbai,
Yeah. And
so that was another criteria. I guess.
that was another criteria. So there are so many aspects to Mumbai. I mean, during the discussion today and all the characters that we saw being played, everything looked real, everything looked possible in Mumbai, regardless of how absurd it may sound. So, was there something that said that did you have some kind of conscious decision of which aspects of Mumbai did you want to bring forth, or did that magic happen all on its own?
I think Umaji mentioned it. I'm an absolutely spontaneous writer. I used to give talks a bit here and there, and I've always said this: I don't have outlines. I don't know the endings. I know nothing when I write. I just wait for the lines to come, and then the characters take over, and the characters develop the play. So one of the skill that we have to have is to listen to the characters when they speak. I don't try to maneuver them too much at all. So I have no social goal, nothing. If it comes out, and there was a playwright who I learned from long back. She said, if something is inside you, if it concerns you, it'll come out. You know, so if I'm concerned about children and teens, a play happened about that. It's almost complete now. If I'm concerned about the farmers, the play comes out by itself. I don't think the writer really can write. It's like a poet. A poet never writes. If something comes, you have to put it down. You may edit it, yes. You may fine-tune it, yes. But I definitely don't sit down to write that I have to complete today a poem. Let it come from the air, and I'm a poet first. So I wait for it. I wait. And it keeps on coming, so I guess I'm lucky.
So, and it's like we have already realized, all of us in our lives, that Mumbai is an eternal muse. So, it is lending to all the characters and the stories that you choose to channel Mumbai through. So, it was amazing. Is there something that you would like to share that we should know about as we close this evening? I will let everybody know where to get the book again, but Anjuji, it has been such a pleasure of an evening to know your stories intimately, to hear Dolly ji and Umaji talk, to hear the perspectives of the actors, and see bits and bobs of the plays. So, from you, Anjuji, is there something that we should have in our mind that you would like to tell us your readers?
To continue the spontaneous way, I think I'll end with this: is as I was listening, you know, there's this famous TV serial film, Sex and the City, right?
Yes.
And then as I heard everybody, it came to my mind that this is what I will do in the future. Next time it will be Women and the City, and we'll have some women who are living in the city.
Yeah.
The next time it will be creativity in the city.
Yeah.
After that it will be violence and the city. And, you know, all these, because I think that will be focused so that people don't hear only my voice, but I hope to be expanding to others who are living in the city, so that we have a common voice. Surely I'm starting it, and the play will be there, the readings will be there, but the people will be different. Not just me. So that's one idea. So what does the audience do? Let me know.
Okay. Yes, the audience is obviously very vocal here, so they would let you know. But it was wonderful to hear you talk about Mumbai traps. It was wonderful to almost like rediscover aspects and sides of Mumbai through your characters and the plays that we discussed today. So for the audience, it's a book with 6 amazing plays about Mumbai, and they all come together in the book Mumbai Traps. And the audience, if you'd like to buy the book, it is available on Amazon, and the link for that is in the bio. So I'd like to thank all our actors, Denzil ji, Kanika ji, Aditya, Vishal, Riya, Sonu ji. I'd like to thank 100 Monologues for hosting this, and Anju ji, of course, for your time and for your book, and for making our lives richer for it. Thank you so much.
Thanks to Preeti, Sonu, all of you. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you. So I'll call it an evening. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for being here and encouraging it. And namaste, adab. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dolly ji. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.